Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about the Chrysanthemums written by John Steinbeck. Now, before I go into summary and analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. Now, Chrysanthemums. Whenever I hear about chrysanthemums, whenever I see a title, chrysanthemums, I'm like, oh man, this is about to be a bad, well, not bad, but a very dark. Because let's cut straight to the chase here. Chrysanthemums are associated with death. Some people, it's like tombstones, people dying or people at the hospital and they're trying to get better or they're recovering from some type of illness or accident. And maybe you bring them some chrysanthemums and you're like, get better, right? So chrysanthemums, usually, in many cases, they're associated with death and dying and something dead. I mean, depending on the source that you use, maybe you get a different meaning and definition of what chrysanthemums represent. But from all the books and stories I've read in my life, I truly believe that more often than not, chrysanthemums are usually associated with something dark. And in this case, in the Chrysanthemums by John Steinbeck, they are associated with something depressing, dark, deadly. Yeah. Let's just get to the point. Let's talk about the short story. What's going on in here? What is it about? Well, this woman, it's Selena's Valley. John Steinbeck, he's known for that. That's a setting that he uses in his works. We meet this woman, Mrs. Allen, Mr. Allen. We meet this couple. They don't have kids. Alyssa Allen, that's the woman's name. The husband's name is Henry Allen. They don't have kids. Alyssa is 35. She's pretty young. But they don't have kids. And the husband is practical. He is scrupulous. He's practical. He does not have a bone of passion in his body. This man is not romantic. This man is not smooth. He's not smooth. All right. He's not a smooth man. He's not a ladies' man. He's not charming. He doesn't have that je ne sais quoi. He does not have it. All right. Because this relationship, this marriage is devoid of its. There's no affection, right? There's no tenderness, no love. There's no that closeness that you would want in a marriage, right? So Alyssa, she's emotionally dead, romantically dead. The love between a mother and a child, that's dead. So there's different variations or different layers of love that this woman is just not receiving. Love from her children or loving her children. She doesn't have that. Love, romantic love, passionate love, Romeo and Juliet love, Jack and Rose from Titanic love. She doesn't have any of that. It's not there. It's not there, people. It's just so sad, man. It's just not there in this relationship. And so she's very lonely. And so she finds her solace, she finds her comfort, she can express her artistic creativities in her chrysanthemums that she plants every year, and she's tender and careful, and she takes care of them, of those flowers. And her husband, he notices, but he's not. He's all practical, all business. He has a ranch in Selena's Valley. He takes care of he protects, he provides, he does his job on his ranch. He has orchards, he has land. She has the financial necessities of life. She has shelter, she has money, she has the ranch, she has plots of land to plant her chrysanthemums. So, and from the protection, from the provision stage, the husband has done his job. He's practical, he gets things done. But from the tender, the romantic, the je ne sais quoi. This man does not have a romantic bone in his body. And so that part of his life is dead. And she really wants that part, but she doesn't have it. And so all she has to really be happy are her chrysanthemums. And so At the beginning of the short story, Henry, the husband, he sells these steers to these men, and he's very happy. He's made some money. He's like, "Honey, we're going out into town. We're going into Salinas Valley. We're gonna go watch a movie, have dinner, drink wine, the whole nine." And this dude is happy. He's living the life, right? He has his ranch. He's making money. He has his wife. She's 35, and everything is good for him. But she's alone. She's isolated. She's lonely, and she's living on a ranch. No children, just two people, and the farmhand, and that's it. The husband and the farmhand takes care of the ranch, and the wife, she takes care of her chrysanthemums, and she feels no deep love. That passionate, slashing tires. When a woman slashes a man's tires when he does something wrong, or breaking windows, breaking bottles, screaming at midnight type of love. That intoxicating deep love that people, fall into sometimes, and perhaps lose their minds, and jump off well, let's not get carried away, but when people are in love, they do some crazy stuff. All right, let's just leave it at that. So basically, what happens is, while she's taking care of her chrysanthemums, this cart wagon thing comes, and this is like centuries ago, not in 2024. This is centuries ago that this was written, and a cart with a horse and a dog, and this man who's a tinker. He comes in with his whole caravan, and he fixes pots, pans, scissors. He fixes household items. He can, if there's a hole in it, he can fix it. If your scissors need sharpening, he could fix it. He could do all of that. And he talks to Alyssa Allen. He's like, "Oh, do you have anything that needs fixing? I could fix them for you." He asks directions for the road, but he really doesn't need directions for the road. He's just trying to get some business out of her. And she's like, "No, no, no, I don't need anything. You can go in your merry way. Don't, here's the road. Here's the way you can go to get to the highway," and all that kind of stuff. He's like, "Nah, he just wants to make some money. He wants some pots to fix, some pans, whatever, scissors, whatever. He can fix it, right? He's a tinker." But she's like, "No, no, 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 I don't need anything." And then basically what happens is he sees the garden. He starts looking down, trying to figure out how to close this deal, because he's a traveling tinker, making money, fixing pots and pans, and sharpening scissors, or, fixing scissors and all that kind of stuff. And she does have scissors. And he keeps mentioning scissors throughout the short story because, well, she has scissors because she's taking care of her chrysanthemums. And he sees the chrysanthemums, and he doesn't like chrysanthemums because first thing he says that chrysanthemums smell bad. And chrysanthemums, yeah, they don't have, again, people use them at funerals and things like that. They don't really have this like lovely rosy smell. I mean, I wouldn't bring chrysanthemums to a date. It's just not appropriate, right? And it has kind of a nasty smell, or like a flower that you would see at a funeral home. And this is the flower that this woman is taking care of. I think, in of a way, she's like mourning her love life, her loveless marriage, because her husband is just cold, very cold. And so the tinker sees the chrysanthemums. He's like, "Can I have a few stalks or some seeds?" He doesn't know anything about chrysanthemums. He asks for some seeds, but this is like, for me, in terms of analysis, he's just tricking her or deceiving her, talking about something that she likes to get closer to her, so that she can give him pots to fix, so that he can make money. So he starts to talk about the chrysanthemums. He's like, "Can I have a few seeds? Because this woman down the road, she wants to grow some chrysanthemums, and she doesn't have any." And she gets out of her isolation for a moment, because she's like, "Oh, finally somebody notices my work with these chrysanthemums. I work really hard on them. I love them. I love planting them. I love taking care of them. And this guy, he's admiring them. He's appreciating them." And she feels so happy that there's another soul in the world, that she kind of like, for the first time in a long time, she's felt some true, genuine love, right? Because, or affection, not love, maybe like just affection towards another human being. And she's like, "No, I can't give you seeds, but I can give you stalks, chrysanthemum stalks." and she puts it into a pot, and she's like, oh, here's how you take care of them, here's what you do. She pretty much gives a whole lecture on how to take care of chrysanthemums. The guy really doesn't care. He just eventually, like, she gives him some things to fix. He fixed them, she fixed them. He fixes them, excuse me. But yeah, she gives him some pots to fix. He fixes them, and he gets 50 cents, and he takes the chrysanthemum stalks and the pot that she gave him, and she feels very proud and strong, and that her artistic side is being discovered and her hard work is being admired. She feels so happy because as a wife in a ranch to her husband Henry in a time period where women were pretty much stayed inside the home, she really had nowhere to express her artistic nature, her creativity, and she had no children, and her husband wasn't loving her properly. So her chrysanthemums were her only outlet to express her inner true being. So when those things get recognized, she's so happy. She's very happy, and the guy makes 50 cents. He fixes the pots, and then he gets back into his caravan, his dog, and all that kind of stuff, and he goes away. And then remember, Alyssa Allen had this date with her husband Henry Allen, and they were going to go into town because Henry had sold the steers, and on their way into the Salinas Valley, and the way into town to celebrate, to have dinner and wine. She sees the caravan of the man of the tinker, and she sees that this man. Let me get even closer to the microphone here. This man, this tinker, had thrown out the chrysanthemum stalks. He threw them on the side of the road. He kept the pot. He threw the stalks, the chrysanthemum stalks. He just threw them out. And it crushes her, man. It genuinely crushes her, and it hurts. It really hurts because she thought someone truly admired her work with the chrysanthemums, and someone was going to appreciate her hard work, and it made her strong. It made her brave. It made her feel like she was doing something with her life, and someone saw her work and her artistic nature and appreciating her. And she felt like for a long time that, a very long time in her life, that she finally connected with the tanker and he understood her hard work, but no. He just wanted to make 50 cents and fix the pots. And he kept the pot for his own use, but the chrysanthemums, the things that she truly, dearly cared about, that she really loved, he just threw them and cast them aside on the road like they were nothing. Like they meant nothing. And when she drives by with her husband and she sees that, man, it just destroys her. She was already isolated, but this tinker had stomped on her while in her isolation and really just drove her deeper into darkness and despair, because now the one outlet that she had, someone had trampled upon it. She has no children. She has no career of any kind. Her husband doesn't even let her, truly get involved with the work on the ranch. Her husband is cold and callous, and he doesn't really truly know how to love. And so this woman is like, that was the last straw. It's like everything that should be there is dead. Like all the affections and love and expressions that I should express in life are just, you can't express true love. You can't express love for your children. You can't express love for your chrysanthemums. Everything has been trampled upon. And she slowly weeps like an old lady at the end of the short story. And that's how it pretty much ends. And she was talking to her husband, talking about the fights and drinking wine before the story ends. And it's kind of dark because she pretty much, after seeing her chrysanthemums cast aside on the road, she asked her husband, "Can we have wine during dinner?" And she asked questions about the prize fights, or these fights that were going on where men would brutally beat each other up and there would be blood and all that kind of stuff. She asked her husband about that, and that kind of tells me that she's so deep into despair that all she kind of wants to see violence and drink alcohol. And that says a lot about, in terms of deeper meaning and analysis here, that says a lot about her mental state. You know, if your problems are so bad that you want to drink, that's an issue. If your problems are so bad that you want to see a fight, that's an issue. You know, being drunk and watching people fight, it's like you're trying to escape away from your world because it's so dark and so nasty that you want to escape. And that says a lot about the real world, that a lot of people, their lives are so depressing and so dark. They take up alcohol and become alcoholics, and they try to find these escapes in maybe in entertainment or in front of their television sets, or when it gets worse, you know, drugs and things like that, to escape loneliness, isolation, darkness, emptiness, and, you know, a lack of love and passion and true joy in life. So, yeah. Alyssa Allen is married in the search story. She's married. She has a husband. Her husband takes care of her, gives her money, takes care of everything, but she's incredibly alone and isolated, which proves that, you know, money ain't everything, man. Money ain't everything. You could have all the money and all the comforts. She has all the comforts. She has food and land and the farm and, you know, the ranch and everything. And her husband's definitely making money. I mean, he makes a big deal by selling the steer at the beginning of the work. But all of that does nothing for her because she has nothing to love, or no one truly loves her because her husband is just so cold and practical. I think everything that he does, even his affection towards his own wife, is just so cold and callous. You wouldn't even know it. And I think she just, even though that her husband's right there, she just feels so alone, so isolated. And the one time she thought someone would see her, she would get close to someone, um, the dude just chucks her chrysanthemum stalks on the road and keeps the pot. Wow. Again, the chrysanthemums, the title. Whenever I see chrysanthemums, know that something dark is coming, something depressing, something deadly, something unhappy. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I had to say about that work. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or leave a comment. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, boy.